What is up, everyone? I almost let this one get away from me. I forgot today was vlog day, and I had a pretty busy morning. I went for a walk. I went to the store. I went to another store, and in roughly about an hour, or if not, like maybe less than an hour, I have to go to the other side of town to be a part of a meeting that I don't even know if I should be a part of because it's about an event that people are setting up, and I don't even know if I'm going to be present at the event because I work that day. You know, so I don't know. I mean, I'm just gonna have to let them know, hey, I worked that day. I don't think I'm gonna be able to make this event. But there's that. I'm also eagerly waiting my W-2 because it's tax season, so I'm just trying to knock that out, get that taken care of, and just hopefully reap the rewards and not have to suffer any consequences or whatever. I don't know yet. Moving along, there was a lot that happened this week. My coworker quit. One of my coworkers quit. One thing I love about my jobs is, when I can sort of build a bond or at least some sort of something. I'd rather bond with a coworker than beef with a coworker. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes my life at work just a little bit easier to deal with. So it's like when I bond with a coworker and they leave, I mean, it's not really like I actually get their contact information before they leave because I'm not the kind of person to interact with somebody outside of work. But now I kind of wish that I could be that person because I actually liked these people. You know what I mean? And also, I mean, with them quitting, now I have to kind of find a way to find a way to sort of tolerate my shift, knowing that I'm probably going to be by myself until they bring somebody else along. It's stressful. It's stressful, but thankfully not completely impossible. I've managed to actually, get used to my job to a point where it's like it's I could like do that thing on autopilot now. It didn't click that I've technically been working there for 6 months already until maybe about a week or so ago. So there's that. It feels good though. It feels good to know that I actually, shook back from the wreck anyway. In less than a year, no less. Sweet. But yeah, I do miss my coworker though. I wonder how they're doing. Moving along, political news. Let me just go ahead and take this time to point out something about political news. Once again, I can't stress this enough. Focus on your local elections because Arizona just basically, I don't know if they passed the bill or signed the bill or whatever, but apparently they have managed to find a way to make it okay to flip over election results, which technically means that if that means that if the electors say, hey, this person won, then I'm guessing senators can ultimately say we disagree, and that could be a flippity floppity there, which takes the vote away from you, the person in Arizona. So I feel like on a national scale, we should all just be focusing on our local, elections and stuff like that, and figure out specifically if that's what we're trying to stop. It is. Also, another thing about elections that I mean, not the election, but another thing about politics I actually kind of got a little annoyed about is I'm getting annoyed with the Biden approval ratings thing. I get my news from the Google News app on my phone, and one of the few things that they love to talk about is Biden's approval ratings are getting lower. If there's one thing I have learned from being like an American citizen for my entire life is that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter how good you are at it, people do not like anybody that's in charge. Nobody likes the people that are in charge. You could literally be a man. You could be a boss of let's say you are a boss of like 50 people, right? There's a good chance that at least 20 of those people, and I'm talking about like a good boss. Let's just go ahead and just establish that real quick. You're a good boss. You're efficient. You build good morale. You're actually chilled out and relaxed and a decent person. But there's going to be at least 20 people at your facility that you are in charge of that dislike you for any reason they could think of. At least a good 20. At least 20. That's, you know, a good, I don't know, 40%. Is that 40%? Because people don't like people that are in charge. You, as the person that's in charge, from a worker's perspective, you have only two functions: one, information; two, scapegoating. If I, as a worker, can come to you, the manager or the person in charge, I'm only going to ask you for one of two things: information, or, I mean, if I'm coming to you, I'm coming to you for information. But if something bad happens, I'm scapegoating you. I'm saying it's his fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm not specifying me, but I'm just saying in general. So it's like with the concept. I mean, like, people think that Joe Biden right now is the king of America. So it's like whenever anything goes wrong, they're gonna say it's his fault, because people, the same people who think that Joe Biden is the king of America, don't even know who Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema even are. So there's that. It's like, it's kind of like how people don't know. Like, the good thing about being in the Senate is, the one good thing I know is about being in the Senate is you can be responsible for screwing things up completely, and nobody's gonna ever be like it's your fault, because most folks don't even know who the senators are. So I'm not saying everybody don't. I'm just saying, like, if you were the same people who would say Joe Biden sucks, you ask them who Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema are, and I said it twice. They wouldn't be able to know who you're talking about. It's hilarious. So there's that. That's the political news. It's ridiculous. It's like, I just really wish that people actually cared about, like, the local political scene, because like, one of the big things I don't like is the fact that people, they don't care, like, they care more about the big government and the national stuff than the local stuff. It's like, you care more about what's happening for the entire country rather than what's happening in your own area, and that is a challenge. I gotta make this quick because I gotta go to this meeting in roughly about an hour and a half or whatever. I don't know how long. I don't know how long it's gonna take, and I don't know how long the trip is. I don't like driving. I think I've said this before multiple times, but I don't like driving, and I don't like driving long distances, and I don't like driving in traffic. I just don't like. I don't even like being outside. But the fact is that, like, I need to be outside, so I tolerate it, but I don't like it. And driving involves being outside, and I have to be outside in my death trap, trying to avoid other people's death traps. So there's that. It's frustrating out here, man. What else is there? What else is there? What else is there? That's personal, political. I've been watching this series called Yellow Jackets. It's basically, Lord of the Flies, but it's like, what if there were girls? Which actually, surprisingly, is good. It's a good show. I like it anyway. I've been watching a lot of shows with, like, majority female protagonists. So like Orange is the New Black, L Word, Wentworth, and now Yellow Jackets. And I think the one thing I kind of picked up on is that, like, when it's majority women protagonist, I don't know, the conflict just seems I don't know how to describe it more, because it seems like the overall environment is in some way, shape, or form hostile. Like, with Wentworth and Orange is the New Black, they took place in jails, so of course hostilities are already kind of high. But then you kind of have, you have Yellow Jackets, and it takes place in this forest where they have to survive, and hostilities are already kind of high, And then you take into consideration the L Word. This is a series like made like in the earlier years, I think the early 2000s. So it's like you kind of had this sort of environmental dislike towards lesbians, I would like to say, or whatever. But also the good thing about the L Word, though, is that it didn't have, like, it was mostly like, the environment is much more free and a little less constricted than, it's hard to explain. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, Yellow Jackets is fun. Yellow Jackets is a fun series. I've also been watching Our Kind of People, which I also think is kind of dope. I definitely recommend that if you are black and you love like drama series, check it out. Um, that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this short. Love, peace, and safety to everyone that is watching. I gotta go ahead and get ready. Y'all be good now.